Welcome to another episode of Millionaire Barber Mastermind and our group, our community. Tonight, y'all, we got Ron in the house, Mr. Ron Curtis. Now, Ron, we start these off. We want to hear your background, and then we're going to talk about the school. But let's start from childhood and walk our way up.
Good evening, everybody. Hey, thanks for having me. Jen, it's a pleasure to be here with you tonight, man. It's an honor. Watching you for almost a year now. The inspiration, the love for this, the barbering, and the help that you have provided for everyone. Not just barber school owners, but just people, in general. It's a blessing to be able to have a good friend like you, a mentor, and somebody that's definitely helping other people get to the next level. A little bit about myself. Long story, man. Long, rocky road. But I'm here and I'm thankful. And, I can go back to my childhood where I came from a pretty good family. My grandfather and grandmother, well, my family was highly respected out here in Montgomery County. That's a little bit outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Grew up pretty wealthy, never had to really want for nothing. And, basically he was a little spoiled kid, well known throughout my community. And long story short, I actually, just lived a pretty good life up until my teenage years, where I was an athlete, star quarterback, had a lot of good reputation in the street, up and downs. But when I look back and say to myself, I really, everything I, worked hard for, I accomplished through my up and downs. I actually came from a broken home. My mother and dad were separated, and I never really had, a stable home. So I always leaned on my grandfather and grandmother to basically take care of me. And, my dad became a drug addict. My mother was an alcoholic. So I was basically caught in the middle of, a warpath. So that being said, I was going back and forth with my mother and my father pretty much all my life, trying to deal with just learning how to, be a good son, learning how to love my mother and dad, regardless of what they've been through or what they're going through. But at the same time, I was getting caught up in a bad direction mentally. So, with me trying to be a quarterback and, getting all the publicity and things like that, but at the same time, I was a quarterback that never had his mother and dad in the audience at the same time cheering me on, So it was kind of hard for me to, build a future around football, because, you always need the extra lift, the extra cheer, So at that time, I was, from ninth grade on, I was just, playing football, and, like I said, reporters and papers and people, around my town still, cheering me on, telling me I had a good game. And I never had that from my mother and father, the ones I really needed from the most, they were here after the game or see my name in the paper or something like that. And, then it was a good game, I think, it was kind of hard just to say, and you didn't even show up, but you heard about it, at the paper and, or the reporters. And, but at the same time, I still had to, move forward and just say, accept the challenge of dealing with a life that has its up and downs family-wise, So that being said, after 12th grade, I was in trouble, just going back and forth, just getting a bad reputation and just all over the place, man. Just started getting on drugs and, hustling and, just doing stuff for, sometimes I think it was, I sit back now, I'm thinking like, was it for attention or is it just, just a part of life, that you have to go through in order to become who you are, So sometimes, you might have to go through these up and downs to become successful. And I realized that, sometimes I sit back and think like, what was it that led me to disaster, but at the same time, what also led me to success, So I can say that now, but a little bit after high school, I ended up, like I said, I was on drugs and, ended up in rehabs. I ended up in Norristown State Hospital. Then, like a couple of years after that, but excuse me, let me take it back a little bit. I've always had a talent of cutting hair. Even through high school, people wanted me to cut the hair, and I really didn't want to do it. I started cutting my own hair, and looking a little bit messed up here and there, but at the same time, I had some nice cuts. So people started coming to me as far as cutting hair, and end up getting involved in the barbershop at like 12th grade, just to try to, I was actually, the school didn't do nothing for me no more after seasons over football. I really didn't I hated school. I didn't no parts of it, So at that time, they would let me out on work release, 11th, 12th grade year, and I was actually going to a barbershop around my way, and I ended up getting in a barbershop cutting hair. But it still wasn't what I really wanted to do. It was there because, the money was good, but at the same time, mentally, I wasn't there with it. So I kept on, I would close the shop down at 7 o'clock, go get high. It was just every day, I'd make the money, close the shop down by 7 o'clock. I wouldn't take no more head. I didn't care how much money you had, because I felt like I was fighting something so hard and, fighting a demon, So, at that same time, I was losing a lot of respect in the barbershop, due to the fact that I would never, stay long enough, put my all into it because it's something I never wanted to do, I was forced to. My mom was like, listen, you ain't getting no more dollars from me. My dad, like, I don't got no money, So at the time, you got to go ahead and do what you got to do. So, the little $10, $20 haircuts and, the little couple dollars I was making a day, I go get high, So a little bit after that, I just ended up going real crazy after that. I was ended up in, like I said, Norristown State Hospital, another rehab, and unfortunately I ended up in jail for a strong arm robbery for 4 years. Being away for a while, and lost my grandfather while I was in jail, but I was able to learn, and I was still able to be in jail after like a couple of years. I started getting respect, and just started doing a lot of positive things while I was there. I had to change my life around, stop hanging with people that I felt like wasn't good for me. I was cutting hair in there. I was making pretty good dollars in there, for cigarette packs and all that. But, at the same time, I was praying to God, like, when I get out of here, I'm never coming back. When I get out, I'm going to change my life and, become a better person. I'm going to own some businesses. I was talking this all in jail, man. I was, basically saying to myself, God, you got me. God was telling me every day, I got you, and I'm just going to get you out of here. We're going to make sure that you become successful. We're going to make sure that you become a better person, and you're going to change your lifestyle. So after I got out, after the 4 years, I never turned my back, and that was 25 years ago. Never looked back. I ended up coming out buying the same barbershop where I worked at, where I first started in high school. I got out, I was like, yo, I need the shop, man. He was like, for me, I said, I'm ready to buy this. I need it, let's go. Give me a price. He gave me a price. I was within a month, 2, I paid him off and he was out of there. So I ended up working. I just dedicated myself to the shop. It was like my jail cell. I never left. I was always there every day. I was on time. I stayed through, as long as I could throughout the morning, cutting hair. But I was, at the same time, I was rehabilitated, I forgave my mom, I forgave my dad. They had got, they went and got clean, and, so it was a blessing to see them change their life around. So at the same time, I was changing mine, So all three of us won at the same time. So, I started working in a barbershop, and I was there all day. Now, not one day I was late. I just started being dedicated and just committed to something that I wanted to do and ever be successful. And I said, I'm not going to be stopped. I got rid of all my friends that weren't for me. I got people that didn't mean nothing to me out of the way. And I just stayed focused, man. And that's what it was, man. I stayed focused, and I ended up buying another shop next door to my barbershop. I used to sit outside all night, 4 o'clock in the morning, looking at this next building next to my barber shop, and I'm like, I need that. I used to be tears in my eyes because I wanted it so bad, because I wanted a hair salon next to my barber shop. And one day it just opened up. I went to the landlord. I said, I need this shop. He's like, which one? I said, next to my barber shop. I said, what's the price? Just go. I need it. He's like, all right. So I opened it up. It was called Final Touch Beauty Salon. So I had that for years. End up, it wasn't going the way I really wanted it, because I really didn't know nothing. I just wanted it. You know what I mean? Because I felt like I had to have it. It wasn't like a big success story there. You know what I mean? It was just like, I had it, I owned it, I felt good about it because I worked for it, and I knew I had to have it, and I knew that God had my back to be able to open it up, and I moved forward with it. And but like I said, getting the barbers and getting the hair salon, getting the hairstyles is kind of tricky, because I really didn't know nothing about the business of hairstyling, the cosmetology part. I just knew that I could open it up and and make sure that somebody could work, So that being said, a couple more years after that, I got an offer for another business around the corner, which landlord, a good friend of mine, said, listen, you're doing so good. I'm so proud of you, man. I need you to get this building for me, and I want you to open up a bigger shop or a bigger hair salon, and I would love for you to have it. I was like, I'm coming to you first because I feel like you're hungry. I see what you're doing out here, and we want you to take over. So that being said, I ended up turning my the shops that I had into clothing stores. So I said, all right, I'm gonna move around the corner. I opened up a 14-chair shop in my area. It was cosmetology and barbering at the same time, and it just did what it did. You know what I mean? I was just trying to stay focused and hire barbers and hire stylists, and I ended up having that for 10 years, Didn't become rich enough off of it. It was another jail cell. It was something that I knew I had to stick in and stay committed to, and work hard, and it was just I was just focused, you know what I mean? And I just knew that one day I would have more. And I just kept on telling myself, this is not it. You got more life to go. And, but the good thing is you're still young, and you are, taking all the right steps to take things to the next level. So that being said, a little bit after that, 10 years later, I ended up opening up. I closed that barbershop down. I just went a little smaller because I felt like my other barbers and the hairstylists, they went and got their businesses, which became successful. I'm very happy for them. And I got a little bit smaller, and I just, at the same time, I was still working hard and still focused on doing things that I said I was going to do. I was incarcerated, and I was giving back to the community, trying to help the kids, and just staying positive. So at the same time, through like years, I was doing like basketball camps for the kids. I was feeding people. I was just trying to give back, just trying to do everything possible to make a difference in the community. And, it ended up working. I was doing unity days, school bag drives, and, just trying to do everything I could to make a difference. So as time went on, I ended up opening up about 2 years ago. But after working in my other shop for like another 4, I opened up Final Touch Barber Academy. And, just took off from there. But I can go on for days about my life, man. But today is just like sometimes you don't try to look back and look forward. And today, I'm just a better person, and that's most important.
When did you start, Ron? When did you start thinking about a school?
You know what? It's kind of crazy how this happened. I always was teaching little kids in my, little kids would come to my shop, and I just pull them to the side. Yo, come on. And then they were picking up hair. I mean, just like right up, as soon as they walk in, I could look at you, I give them the clipper, and next thing you know, they're cutting hair. And I show them like 2 minutes, and next, they got it. They taking the hair down, they happy, they smiling, and excited about cutting hair. And I'm like, wow. The parents called me up and like, yo, man, my son want to cut hair. He liked it. Thank you, Ronnie. You know what I mean? Not only did you, let him cut somebody's hair, you gave his haircut for free because he cut somebody's hair. You know what I mean? And and I just kept on doing that with the kids. And I just thought that I really, my focus was just trying to train kids at the time, you know what I mean? But in the last couple of years, it was like, maybe I could just help some of these kids, trying to save a couple of people's lives. Some families don't always have the father figures at home, or, things going on in their household. So, maybe I can be the one to help them save their kids' lives, you know what I mean? Because I know what I've came through, went through in life, that maybe it was time for me to help. And I knew pretty much all the kids that were going through some things with the, in their household, and and you see some kids and not as happy. You can see they fighting things, and they come from broken homes, mama drugs, mama the bar, and whatever. And I knew who they were, so I made it my business to try to make put a smile on their face, you know what I mean, and get some clippers to them, and and at the same time, I was actually trying to give hints to the parents, like, hey man, your son might have a talent, you know what I mean? Instead of being in the bar, instead of getting high, maybe like need to look at something like this and pay more close attention. Because if you call me up and saying my son want to cut hair, and my son was very thankful for you doing what he did, that means that was just me trying to get to you. You know what I mean? And for you to make that phone call, it wasn't about you making a phone call to me. It was about you saying, maybe I need to be more involved in my kid's life. You know what I mean? And maybe he does have a talent that I don't see because I'm either high, drunk on the bar, or somewhere doing some things that, that my kids, are suffering from. You know what I mean? So that being said, one day I was driving through Philadelphia, and I was driving to the casino, and I went down to the casino, and I think I took about every dollar I had cutting hair from that week, and I went down there and I lost. I was like, Jesus, Christmas, what I'm gonna do now? So at that time, I'm looking at everybody at the crap table, and they winning, and I'm just sitting over there looking around like, man, that was a dumb move, you know what I mean? So, I said, it's time to go home. So at that time, I'm riding up Spring Garden Street, and as I looked, God said, look to the right. And I just happened to, look to the right. He said, look to the right. And God just actually talked to me. He said, look to the right. And I said, look to the right. And it was a building. He said, that's your barber school. It's coming. And I'm like, what? He's like, call there tomorrow and get that school. It's mine. It's for you. Because what you have done, and I want to bless these people, and I'm going to work through you to get through these kids and change some lives, And I'm like, well, let's try it out. I called the landlord the next day. I said, listen, I need this building. I see you have for rent sign on it. They're like, oh yeah, how you doing? I was like, yeah, my name is Ron Curtis. They're like, so they said, what you trying to put in there? I said, a barber school. They're like, oh my God, barber school. I said, yeah. They're like, well, if that's what you want to do, let's go. I said, I definitely want to do it. I got the down payment. When can we get started? They're like, let's start tomorrow. I said, the down payment will be here tomorrow. Meet me there at 12 o'clock. I met them in the next day, gave him the money, and it was on. At that time, the school was pathetic. I'm like, how I'm going to rebuild this thing, this school. I don't think it's the one, guy. I think you got the wrong place, because this is going to be a lot of work. You know what I mean? I'm looking around, I'm like, dust everywhere. It was abandoned for almost 10 years. Nobody never went in there. I'm looking at the floors, I'm looking at the walls, I'm looking at everything. I'm looking at it was crazy. So, but God was like, we're going to build from scratch. And I put you here for a reason. We're going to put this school up, and I guarantee you it's going to be something. So he said, get your shovel, get everything you need, get your workers, and get it going. And we started working, and my workers walked in there like, yo, I don't know, man. I think you got the wrong crew for this job. You know what I mean? So, but, and I said, listen, let's get it done. They're like, you know how long this project gonna take? I like, get it done in 6 months. Let's roll. They were like, listen, I don't know, man. It's gonna take a while for us to do this. All this, I mean, listen, dust everywhere. Like you walk in there, dust hit you right in the face. You couldn't even like take in 1 second in there without dust coming out, and it was like a haunted house. So I walked through it, and God was just talking to me like, this is this is that, this is that, this is gonna be this, that's this, and I'm looking, and I'm visioning as he's talking, and you know, I'm looking, I'm like, God, I don't know, man, this joint dusty, man, like this might not be the right situation for me on this. He said, get it done. And that time I said, all right, let's go. So I put the crew on there, and they got to working, and about 6 months into it, they 2 people. And like I'm starting to look, I'm like, yo, look a nice. They said, you need a new floor. I'm like, a floor? They're like, yes, the floor is beat down. I'm like, yo, I don't know, God, I'm gonna get my money back. I said, I don't think it's it, man. He's like, put the floor down, go to Home Depot, get a floor. I went to Home Depot, got the floor. They tearing the floor up there like, Ronnie, I don't know, man. I don't think we're gonna be able to do this. There's too much dust kicking up in here. And he said, get some fans. So I went and got some fans. So long story short, they got to tearing stuff up and tearing stuff down. They put the floor down. I said, well, what color you gonna paint it? I had about 50 different colors. And when you painting, you know, the paint wasn't sticking because there was dust everywhere. You know what I mean? Even when you cleaned it, it was still didn't get it that pop like you really wanted, you know? So I'm like, geez. I said, well, let's try this color. Let's try white. And I'm like, oh, this just, I don't know, man. I'm ready to hang it up. This guy said, choose blue. I was like, I went back to Home Depot. I got blue. He said, that's it right there. Put it up. I put it up. I was like, oh, it's doing nice. This is pretty nice. So next you know, we next door again. He's like, what color is this going to be? He said, put red here, blue over there. I'm like, all right, let's try this out. And white there. And next thing you know, well, things just started coming together, man. You know what I mean? He said, get some chairs. Get this. Get some nice seating, the VIP seating for the students. I don't want them little desks. I want some VIP seating so they feel like they're at home. You know, so my seating that I got in my school, like movie theater seats. You know what I mean? So I want them comfortable. So, you know, that being said, as we started building and going, you know, started coming together, you know, and I'm looking, I'm like, yo, it's starting to come together. It's talking real nice. And people coming to me, oh my God, this building been abandoned for 10 years. And look at this thing. What are you doing? Why you guys looking like a barbershop though? I said, I don't know. You know what I mean? He said, this is a school or a barbershop? I'm like, it's a school. Well, this shop look like a barber shop, man. He got this thing looking like a barber shop. I'm like, yo, you know, like I said, that's when I came up to the point. I said, you know what? I think I want the students to feel like they're in a barbershop setting instead of a school. I want them to feel like, you know, when they are in that school, that they see the lights and they vision their self being in this shop. You know what I mean? So, you know, basic school, all white stuff and, you know, basic stuff. And that's it. I said, you know, in order for somebody to get a vision, you have to help build it. You know what I mean? And what I did was I said, you know, let's put things in here where they feel like they can be comfortable, where that's not boring. So every time you walk in my school, you feel like you're in a great situation. You know, you feel like you at a barbershop. You know, you feel like you can really make some money. You know, so that being said, you know, the school came together, and I'm looking and people coming up there, the reporters coming up, and papers, and you know, all the accolades. You know, ex-con comes out, opens a barber school, and you know, just went from there. Then the students started coming, and after in August we got hit with COVID. I'm like, oh Lord, here we go. Got them ready to pack it up now. It's over, you know. But we end up getting students through COVID, and we wasn't open, but we were actually still training them. You know, just on Zoom. You know, because they wanted to come, and I was like, you know what, we still going to do our thing, but we're going to be online. But at that same time, you know, the state board was like, listen, you can go online and start doing, you know, barbers can do the theory part of it, and still get the hours. And I was like, all right, let's roll. So we started doing that online and ended up packing my school up first year, and I was like, whoa. And all my students graduated, and the first year they actually did pretty good. You know what I mean? Some went and got their license, some still got to go take their test, but they built a name, a better reputation. And the teacher that I had was a legend. He's a legend out here. Howard Myers, and even when he got on, he was like, yo, let's do it. You know what I mean? He came out of retirement to open his school. To help me with the school, and I was like, even that situation was hard. I was looking for a teacher. I ain't had no teacher. I ain't had nothing. I ain't knew nothing about the business at all, being a barber school, nothing. All I did was God was just guiding me and telling me we're going to put it together. So before the school, let's go back before the school opened, I'm like, I need a teacher. But I actually reached out to somebody, and somebody said, well, what about Howard Myers? I said, give me his number. So I called Mr. Myers, and I talked to Mr. Myers for like 5 minutes. I said, hey, Mr. Myers, how you doing? He actually was my substitute teacher back when I was in school. That was back in 97. He said, hey, who's this? I said, Ron Curtis. He said, hey, how you doing, buddy? I said, I need to open a barber school. He said, oh, man, I'm retired. I said, no, you ain't. You coming out of retirement, buddy. This ain't happening. You're going to open this school up with me. He said, where you open up? I said, Philadelphia. He said, oh, let me think about it. I said, you can't think about it. We got to do this. And then, he said, well, meet me down. He said, where's the school at? It's in 925 Spring Garden Street, Philadelphia. And he said, I really got to think about it, man. I'm retired, man. I said, listen, you can't be retired too much longer, man. You got to come on with me. We got to do this. He said, well, meet me down there. I said, the next day, like 2 days later, he said, you going to be down there? I said, I'll be down there. He came in and he said, wow, this school look phenomenal. I said, yeah, I told you, I'm going to get you out of retirement. He said, what's the pay? I said, here it is. He said, I'm hired. I'm coming out of retirement. So I said, the magic number. You know what I mean? He was like, I'll be. He said, when you going to open up? Because like I said, but after that, he ended up going on Zoom. He started doing stuff. He had the knowledge for it, and all the students were just so knowledgeable. You know what I mean? He was teaching, and things were just coming together, man. And as time went by, we just kept on getting students, and people were hearing about us, and they loved it, man. And the students were really enjoying themselves, and just felt like home. We became a big family. They started learning how to cut hair. I was more like the practical. I ended up within the year. I said, you know what? I gotta go get my teacher's license. That's another accomplishment I gotta get. In order for me to run the school, I gotta go get my license. So I end up within last year when I got my teacher's license and passed the test, and now I'm an official teacher as well. So everything just came together, man. We just worked hard and just took it stride by stride, man. And I'm telling you, to be honest with you, I don't think within the last 2 years, I ever had a bad day. People say, why did you go to the city? What made you in Montgomery County? You skipping over a whole town to go down there with all these murders and everything. I said, I don't even know. God got me down here on this street to do whatever we supposed to do. And I told him, I own a barbershop out here in Montgomery County as well. I owned that for 30 years. I said, I don't know. He said, well, everybody questioned it. I said, you know what it is? I think that I really need to be around these people because I think in the long run, I kept on telling, I tell people is, I want to be able to help some of these people that can't afford it. You know what I mean? I want to get deep down into the ghetto where I can help change somebody's life. You know what I mean? Up here in Montgomery County, we like the second richest county in the world. You know what I mean? And you see some poverty out here, but it's not like Philadelphia where, people are dying and, kids skipping school every day and, doing some things that, trying to seek attention. But I realize that sometimes when you look and say, how could you help and how could you be a blessing to somebody else's life? You got to get down in there with them. You know what I mean? You got to realize that, and you can actually tell the story to some of them people that been in jail or on their way to jail. You might be able to save somebody's life and let them know that, hey man, you've been there, done it. And guess what, man? It's not the place you really want to be at. would it feel like to, lose your mother, lose your father while you were incarcerated, lose all your friends, I wanted to be in a situation where I was able to tell these kids and people, some of these adults too, they're just as hard-headed, just be an inspiration and let people know my story. So, as I'm down in Spring Garden every day, I run into a lot of homeless people, and, I'm able to do free haircuts for them. I'm able to feed them. I'm able to give them sneakers. I'm able to do whatever I can to help somebody get out of a bad situation. Like I tell my students all the time, make the homeless person look like he's looking for a job. You know what I mean? So I don't care what he look like. I don't care how he smells. I don't care what he going through. I don't care if he high, drunk. I don't care. I want you to cut his hair like a human and be able to make him look like a better person. So like he can go get a job, like somebody will hire. And my students take to that every day. You know what I mean? To be able to watch them, be able to take care of some people in need and really love what they do. You know what I mean? Like to them to come from some good backgrounds in life, to come to this and seeing what life is on a sometimes harder for somebody else's life, and like I tell them all the time, you don't ever know. This could be somebody in your family, it could be you, it could be because you're a barber or whatever. You don't know. This could be you one day. You know what I mean? So always look to help and give back, and you can be somebody else's influence other people, once you get your license and you carry on what you have learned and learn to be, and that is be able to give back, be able to look at kids that don't have it and be able to, say, hey man, here a couple of dollars, man, or, you don't care, you don't care if they're getting high, you don't care if they're getting drunk, you just say, man, listen, just do the right thing, you know what I mean? Because I'm doing this because I feel like I want to be able to help you. And 9 times out of 10, they'll come up to me, to us and say, you ask for a couple of dollars. But, and I realize that, I want the students to be able to realize and look at these situations, not just being a barber, but being, somebody that can give back, you know what I'm saying, to the communities and to the kids and help feed people and, life skills and, and learn to accept challenges as they go get their license and become professionals, So my school is like a big dream, you know what I mean? That I feel like, that we are there to do whatever we can, you know what I mean, and put us on the map. And like I said, man, this guy's school, man, when I go down there and I pray and and just watch these kids do some very good things and becoming professionals, man, sometimes it makes you want to cry, man, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, wow, man, like how this happened, and just being, just looking at life, man, and looking at the challenges I went through and being able to say, thank you, God, for somebody else, man, and, and just being, just looking, just loving life, man, you know what I'm saying? Just loving life, man. It's a blessing, man, you know what I mean?
Ron, and when did you come across us? When, my material, videos and stuff, when did you see that?
But what's crazy? I think it was about a year ago. I was going through Instagram, and I happened to see Barber school, and I'm like, Millionaire Barber. That's what popped up. I said, Millionaire Barber. I said, that should have been me. So I end up friending you and watching your stories, man. And I'm one of them barbers. Like I'm one of them guys. I'll be in your stories, you know what I mean? And you don't want to tap the jaw, you don't want to get caught in your stories, you know what I mean? You know, sometimes you just go by, you're like, oh, I tap the story. Now you got to like it, you got to go in and just see what's going on, you know what I mean? You know, because some things, you know, I'm very like, you know, people lifestyle, you know, I look at a lot of things and everything you can't be engaged with, you know what I'm saying? You know, so that being said, I ended up tapping you in, and now I think day one, man, it was the rap, man. You caught me, man. I was like, I'm gonna learn a lot from this guy. That guy got it. This man, he's knowledgeable, and you know, and I end up telling all my students about you, and you know, but it went on from there, man. You know what I mean? Speak of you all the time. You know what I mean? So yeah, about a year and a half ago, man, and been doing some great things, man.
So we got a lot of potential and future school owners on here right now. Some of them are working in shops. Some of them got dreams open in schools. Some of them have schools. For the people that are transitioning from the shop to the school, what would you tell them based on your experiences and what you've gone through and everything? What advice would you tell them?
Go after it. Don't stop. You know, this is something that you don't want to work behind a chair all your life, man. You definitely want something bigger. You gotta look at not just your future, look how many futures you can save with you opening up a school and giving back and doing and putting other people in the positions. And, you know, your name will ring throughout the world, you know. But I say stick to it, man. Don't give up, and, you know, and just keep on learning. You know, every day in this business it gets better and better, you know, and just trust God that, you know, with it, man. Pray a lot, man, and let God lead you. You know what I mean? It ain't no easy task, though. I'm telling you, you got students that can sometimes drive you crazy, but you got to understand that sometimes that you got to get down to zero, below, back to zero sometimes to get up to a 12. You know what I mean? You might have another student that is at a 0, you got to pick him up. You know what I mean? You guys, as long as he gets to a 1, you accomplish something. And you see him at a 2, you're getting better. You see him at a 10, you become a little bit better. You know what I mean? So you got to scoop down to another barber that don't know how to cut hair, ain't really good at reading, ain't too good book smart. You got to go down to 0. You got to come back up. You got to start building them up. You know, it ain't no easy task, man. You know, but you got to stick to it, man. You got to have trust in yourself. You got to believe, and you got to understand your kids and your students, and put the time in, man. Put the time in, you know. Every day, put the time in, man, and accept the challenge.
How is it, because you had a lot of shops, so how is it with you having the schools versus the shops?
Well, I went part-time at my shop. So I work down my shop from on Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays. My other teachers work, you know, down my school Thursday, Friday evening, and I go through the morning and go from there, you know. So I teach Monday through Friday all the morning, then I go to my barber's shop in the afternoon. Yeah.
I'm looking up your Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see the screen?
Say it again.
What's your Instagram handle, Ron?
Final Touch Barber Academy.
Okay, I want to share this screen. I want you to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see the screen?
Yeah, I see it. Yep, I got you.
So it's blue.
Mm-hmm.
Anything particular you want us to go through?
Well, that's all the students right there, you know, doing their thing. You know, this is success right there, man. That's where it's at, man. And you guys, a lot of them never even touched clippers ever in their life, you know. I think I had maybe 2 that actually cut, you know, hair before school. Other than that, I think we trained about everybody that came through out there, man. That came through us, and about 4 people actually knew how to cut a little bit. And they, you know, they weren't the best, but they had, you know, just a little bit. We taught them pretty much, but you know, a little bit of things that they needed, you know, touched them up, and they went on, man, you know. And one thing I love about my school, we diverse, man. I love to be able to train all types, our students to cut all types of hair. So that was another big part of my mission, was to train barbers to be diverse, learn all nationalities, and learn how to respect all nationalities and, people, so if you were Caucasian, we want you to be able to cut African American. If you're African American, we want you to be able to cut Caucasian, because it's the money, man. You know what I mean? That's how you build. You just don't concentrate on, all African American. It's a whole nother world out there, man. You know what I mean? So that's another thing I love about my school, the diversity of it, man. And the students accepting the challenge to become not just one-minded barbers. They looking for all types of money, and that's what I love about it, man. When I walk in there and I see them cutting all types, can you cut my hair? Most Italians can't do that. You know what I mean? A lot of shops you walk to these days, or even back in the day, you got to go around the corner, man. We don't do your type. No, we ain't having that. My barber's gonna be able to cut every bit, everything they touch, they turn to gold. You know what I mean? And right there, there's Lena. She's 58 years old. Love it. We ain't playing. We ain't playing no games, man. I'm telling you, man, they're gonna go for the check. You know what I mean? But and not just that, man. They're gonna be professional. That's one thing I definitely am high on. To be professional, timing, the way you wear your uniform, the way you carry yourself, the way you do things. The way you just be professional, man. And another thing is, I also have my, on my jackets and smocks, I have my smocks. It says a logo. It says Clippers of Barber Choice of Weapons. So we use our clippers as weapons. We're not out here killing people. I'll tell you about when the last time you heard a barber kill somebody. We ain't doing that. So that's another thing with my students. I teach the students all the time. Listen, you be respectful. You ain't out here killing nobody. We're not doing that. You're gonna be a good barber, and you're not gonna have that ghetto-ness around you. You're gonna do everything right. And don't get me wrong, everybody ain't gonna do it right, but you at least try to tell them and start that in them, so they can at least always say, hey, you know what? Our teacher did say, such and such, you might lose some business if you did this or did that. We out here just trying to save lives at the same time, man. I cut a lot of killers in my life, man. You know what I mean? And, I tell them all day long, man. Like, I always wondered why. I talk to them. I said, what made you do this? You know what I mean? And they never knew. They never had an answer. And I said, man, I ain't never coming back to this. Because we can't have no answer for killing somebody, but something's really wrong with you. So that's why I say clippers are Barber Choice weapons, man. This is our weapons. This is what we gonna kill you at. We gonna make sure that you get a nice, good haircut, look good, and and take care of your families and take care of other people's families. We ain't killing nobody, So that's my school, man, and that's what we doing.
Is that the one that came out of retirement?
Yep, Mr. Meyer, Howard Meyer, legend. Legend. Love him to death, man. I share every day, man. Just trying to share the people's dream, man. Like I tell them, it ain't about me. This is them. That's all them. And these guys are so talented. Everybody, they so talented. They pick it up so quick, man. It's something else, man. It's to watch them grow daily, man, and watch them be just the mindset of just want to be barbers, man, and loving it, Like I said, I used to hate cutting hair, man. I never liked cutting hair, But today I tell them, man, listen, when they walk in there, they love it, man. I'm like, y'all got it. I failed out of barber school 3 times. I had to take 3 leave of absence when I was in school. You know what I mean? And that's another thing I tell them. I said, man, that's why I'm so hard on them, because I made so many mistakes in barber school. I should have been out of there, But I kept on going back, and after taking leave of absence, I thought I was fighting a demon, man, But as I look back today, I'm like, hey, man, everything happens for a reason, man. And this was a reason for me to be here today, to be able to get back and be a blessing in somebody else's life, man, you know.
What did family members or friends say when you told them you was gonna open a barber school?
Well, you know, they always doubted me anyway. I always beat the odds all the time, man. I always tell people, man, listen, man, I'm a winner. You know what I mean? Even when I look like I'm losing, man, I put my own self through. I put myself in losing situations, man, and win. You know what I mean? That's why I tell everybody, you can't fail me, man. You know what I mean? Like I put so much, you know, I walk around like a failure every day. That's why I still go up and go to work. You know what I'm saying? Even when I go to school and do what I do, I still go to work all the time. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what, man? You know, I lost so much. You know what I mean? You know, I don't let people, you know, get underneath my skin. I don't care what you think. You see my story. You know who I am. You know what I mean? You know where I come from. But, you know, and I'm different. You know what I mean? And, you know, and I don't pay attention to, you know, they always gonna have them, you know, the people, oh man, you know, this and that. I'm like, you ain't never seen me fail yet, man. You know what I mean? And you never will. I can be messed up and you never know it. I can shake your hand, smile, and laugh and giggle and be just as broke and smiling, and you know what I mean, you know, because sometimes, you know, you like to get down to the levels, you know what I mean? I can scoop down the level and jump right out of that, you know what I mean? You know, them days when I was, growing up and stuff like that, you know, I learned how to smile when I was hurt, man, you know what I mean? And so when people or this person say you open the school and doubting you or thinking that you can't do it, I'm successful, man. I'm going. Even when you'll never know it. You know what I mean? Because I'm never even gonna give you that much power over me. You can even think that I'm gonna fail. You know? So, you know, but you got some people that are really thankful for you and happy for you, you know. That, you know, you still gotta be happy with yourself. Can't care what other people think, man. You gotta dig deep in yourself, man, and look at life and your own. You look at your own life, man, because when you look at, you know, theirs and then you try to look at yours, man, you know, it's kind of hard to really, you know, try to please everybody, and you just gotta do what you gotta do. Whatever God got in store for you, man, you take it and run with it. But, you know, I hope they're happy for me. You know, they ain't seen me lose too many times.
Ron, what do you do to stay motivated and inspired?
You know what, man? I just stay focused, man. You know, I just try to take one day at a time. I look back over my life a lot, and when I feel like you know, things are going this way or maybe over my head sometimes, I gotta look back, man, and just say, you know what, look how far you came, look what you have done, look at this, you know, go from here, do this, and I'll jump right back on track. You know what I mean? I inspire myself, you know what I mean? But at the same time, you know, I keep myself around winning people, man, people that's looking for bigger journeys, man, and living for bigger life, and just trying to do things differently now. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's like you're hanging with the drug dealers, you're hung with these people, you're hung with these people, you're hung with inmates, you're hung with this, you know. Now you gotta hang with some people that's winning, man. You know what I'm saying? And looking for bright futures, man. You know what I mean? And you know, and just stay focused, man. And you know, that's what I do, man. I just stay focused on myself and you know, just keep on kicking, man, you know, and just be thankful and pray, man. That's it. You know, pray a lot, man. Pray all the time, man, you know. People don't see it because, you know, they like, well, you know, that's Ronnie Curtis. Man, Ronnie Curtis praying, man. You know, you might not think, I pray all the time, man. And, you know, that spiritual life for me is very heavy. People don't see it. I carry myself some ways, you know. I still got that street mentality, you know, sometimes, but, you know, you know, and sometimes you look back and feel like, you know, sometimes, you know what I mean? But I pray a lot, man. I pray. That's all I do, man. I listen to a lot of gospel music, man. I just take things differently now, you know what I'm saying? I don't always have to listen to hip hop. You know, I don't always have to. I read and I study and, you know, things you know, at one point I couldn't read at all. growing up, man. I was an F student all my life, man. You know what I mean? Couldn't read nothing. You know, mad because I couldn't read. You know what I mean? But I could count. You know what I mean? So I said, well, at least I count this money. I'm good. You know what I mean? So, but I wanted to read, man. I wanted to learn how to read. I wanted to learn. I read something when I was growing up, man, and couldn't remember nothing. Man, I was like a brain dead. I'm like, yo, what is wrong with me, man? You know what I mean? And the teacher be like, Ronnie, like, you really don't remember what you just read? I'm like, no, I'm dead serious. I am messed up. You know what I mean? And I used to be mad at myself, like I wanted to be able to accomplish something, man. You know what I mean? And not that I didn't want to do it. I wanted to be like the A student some days, you know what I mean? But I couldn't, you know what I mean? But it always comes down to sometimes when you don't have that, you know, somebody to help read with you, you know what I mean? Then I end up going to, reading school, still can read it. The therapist like, I think he really brain dead for real. I don't think we're gonna be able to help him, man. He got to go start back with a kindergarten book. He in 12th grade, start back in kindergarten, work his way back up. You know what I mean? I just like, yo, this guy crazy, man. Something crazy, man. I really couldn't do it, man. You know what I mean? So, I just said to myself, I challenged myself to do bigger and better things, and that's just getting knowledgeable. You know what I mean? And being able to talk, without slang all the time, or the craziness, what I mean, just want to be different, you know what I'm saying? And in order to be different, you got to challenge yourself, man. And so now today, when somebody talks to me, these millionaires, I'm right with you. You know what I mean? And they're like, wow, man, you really, yeah, that's right. I can talk right with you, bro. And we don't got to talk about no money, man. You know what I mean? I can talk success too, you know what I mean? But, you just want to be able to do big and better things, because the more things you do, the better people you meet, you know what I'm saying? So, but you got to be on their levels, and not everybody, don't get me wrong, but I want to feel like, I don't want to be the dumbest person in the room, but you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you realize that this guy ain't nothing but human. You know what I mean? His boy got money from his parents. The way he talking his way because he got money from his father or his mom. You know what I mean? You can join in that conversation, because guarantee you 9 times out of 10, he ain't really earned that. It wasn't no hard earned money. That John was given to him, so he talk heavy. You know what I'm saying? And guess what, baby? Really sit down and talk to him and really challenge him and say, yeah, well, such and such, such and such, such and such, such and such. So street smart stuff, and you can, drop that little slang on him. Then he trying to talk slang with you. Then you say you got him. You know what I mean? Because now he trying to get on your level. You know what I'm saying? In order to find out how you become your friend. You know what I mean? So sometimes you can talk, and some people they want to figure out how they become your friend. You know what I mean? But that just comes from you dropping knowledge and being able to speak in good terms and talk like like I'll never forget it, man. God told me when I was incarcerated, man. He said, all you do is gotta look and talk smart. You can be the dumbest person in the room. Look and talk smart. You gonna jump right in that conversation. You know what I'm saying? And that's the truth. You put a suit on, right? Some people gonna look at you like you got money, or you put a nice watch on, but you be the dumbest person at all. But guess what? You're gonna attract somebody. You know what I'm saying? Perception is everything. You know what I mean? And I learned a lot of that. You know what I mean? But when you just want to learn to be more involved in your life, you got to challenge yourself in order to get to different levels. You know what I mean? So that's what I do. You know what I mean? Challenge myself. Every day I challenge myself to become more successful. So that's what I'm up to.
Your school looks very nice. The logos, you pay attention to detail. It looks very good. Who did the logo?
A girl named Linda. She actually she's responsible for a lot of logos and flyers throughout Philadelphia. She does strip clubs. She did everything. So I knew her ex-husband. I used to work at a club where he was. I own a sound headphone company too for headphones. And he told me that she did logos and stuff. So I reached out to her, and she's been doing all my work ever since. And it's been years. She does all my business cards. She does everything. She's very good. Yeah.
Do you have time to answer a few questions?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So we're gonna open up the floor for some questions. Let me know if y'all got some questions that y'all want to ask Ron.
Accredited, I did forget that. I did forget to remember about getting accredited. Just want to real brief on that. So when I got accredited, that's a pretty long process, that I'm dealing with middle state. So the long story short, the ladies that interviewed me for my accreditation, they actually were shocked. They said, at the final, the last day of the interviewing, and after all the questions answered and all the time we had spent on the phone, on Zoom, they said, Mr. Curtis, they're like, can we move your meeting up from 2 o'clock to 1 o'clock? I said, I think it ain't gonna pass me. Something gonna happen, you know what I mean? But I, in my heart, I'm like, always thinking, but at the same time, I'm still thinking like, all right, I wonder why they want to move the time up. So long story short, they said, we will move it up from 2 o'clock to 1 o'clock. And I said, okay, fine, that's cool. So 2 o'clock, they came on. They said, you there? I said, yeah, I'm here. So they said, Mr. Curtis, they said, it's very hard for us to give somebody a 12 for 12 on your standards. They said, but I'm not even going to look at the educational part of it. I said, okay. We're going to look at what your students and what you have done to these students for them to come on here and talk about giving back to the homeless, doing this, working together as brothers and sisters, a big family in your school and stuff like that. That we look at it like, you take 10 of your students and you put them around the world, they're going to save some lives just, because of your school. And, that being said, my school was approved for accreditation. We actually start November 3rd for accreditation. We go to Board of Education, get that done, and we'll be fully accredited right after that. And we also will be able to set the military within probably, I think, another month. So we definitely ready to roll, man. Paying attention to you, though, And,
congratulations, Ron. You keep moving forward. That's a big
Yeah. Somebody said something on there.
Yeah. What was the most, do you allow your students to go on scholarship to get started?
Yes, we actually have people that, have donated and, we have gave, matter of fact, we got one on the line right now. A lot of people, I think we only have one, then another company has offered a scholarship as we speak. So we're waiting to hear who won that. That so far.
What was the most difficult part overall opening your school?
I think going through COVID, which I think it has changed everything. Because you just didn't know, people are getting sick. I was sick as a dog. I thought I was going to check out at one point. So it was a lot, man. Just dealing with the COVID situation, knowing that one day you can be open, next day you got closed, next day you got closed for a week. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a challenge to be able to. I think to be honest with you, I think we only had about 3 students that got that really caught COVID. But the good thing was that we were on top of it. You know what I mean? We really took safety very well, masks and making sure hand sanitizer and making sure that we, did all the procedures and precautionary measures to, making sure everybody's safe. You know what I mean? So that was a very big challenge. And me getting sick, the main leader, you know what I mean? I was like, oh no, man, I think I'm out of here. I couldn't walk up one step, man, you know what I mean? I was like, I think I'm gonna die, So, but I got over it, I fought through it, and thank God, I didn't get no vaccines, nothing. I'm actually vaccine free, and and I'm not bragging, I'm not on wood, COVID's no joke, man. It's rough.
How did you advertise to get students?
Actually, a lot of people knew who I was before all this. So, but I actually word of mouth, the radio was announcing it all the time. I did radio ads, but a lot of the radio personalities personalities were actually screaming my name, Final Touch Barber School, and they was on the airwaves and run into DJs and running into people that I knew. They'll spread the word, and Instagram, Facebook, and the average daily stuff. But I'm also from the old school. Go out there, pass some flyers out, and introduce myself, and just try to do some of the old school tactics too. Like I tell people, don't always count on social media. Count on yourself. Get out there. You got to go out there and put your face out there. You got to let people know that you have a business and that you what you are doing. You know what I mean? Everything. I tell students all the time. It's good to be on social media and stuff like that, but sometimes you got to get out there, get your feet wet, get dirty. You know what I mean? But always keep some flyers on you. Always keep business cards on you, and because there's nothing like you being able to talk to somebody and them gaining your trust, and you can explaining everything that you are doing plus more. So you gotta get out, keep flyers everywhere. I can go to Wawa, 7-Eleven, Dunkin' Donuts. I'm all over. So I'm in it.
Has this been the best investment overall? Yes,
for sure. Definitely 100%. I definitely can say that. It definitely has, man. This was, and I own a lot of businesses. I never worked for them. So a lot of things that I've done, I failed on, and baby, as long as you keep on going, man, you know what I mean? I always just put money out there. I was one of the guys just grab it, do it. Whatever you want, just do it. You know what I mean? Always was like, one of the guys that's just try to do everything, man. You know what I mean? But yes, this is definitely the best investment I ever made in my life. It was the smartest one because I've been in it so long, and it was something that it was a little bit more thinking, to it compared to this, overthinking. You know what I mean? I just stick to the script. You know what I mean? And like today, when the inspector came in today, to my school, he looked around. He's like, "Yo, I don't know what to say to you, bro. 2 more years, you good to go. I ain't coming back for 2 more years." You know what I mean? He's like, "You got this." You know what I mean? And I thought it out. He said, "Man, how you put this school beautiful? You been to the school?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "How you don't know you've been here?" I said, 2 years. He said, "Man, but see, that's what me just thinking, and God putting it together, man. You know what I mean? And he'll lead you. You know what I mean? So it definitely was the best investment I ever made in my life. And I got plenty more to come. I'm gonna keep on these schools going, man. Definitely, the story gonna get started. Definitely gonna take it to the top.
Well, how do you feel school versus the shop? Since you've had both and still have both, somebody that doesn't open a school and they're in the industry, what would be your take on that? Somebody that's thinking about opening a school, they won't open a school, but they scared and they stay in the shop.
Well, here's the thing. I look at things. Some people are not for schools. Some people are just shop people. It got to be something in you to be able to either step out on faith or stay in the shop. You know what I mean? And keep on cutting hair. Because like I said, a lot of people in the businesses, that do have schools, and it's no easy task. You know what I mean? Some people are just barbershop mentality. Got barbershop mentality, love cutting hair. Some people are not good with people. Some are people or people persons, or knowledgeable or things like that. So to me, it's like, if you feel like you just want a school, or you feel like you just want to be a barber, just make your best choice, man. You know what I mean? What's for you? You know what I mean? Because sometimes, like, we always gotta say, all money ain't good money. You know what I'm saying? Some hard money is sometimes the best. But I encourage people to just do whatever they feel is good for them. You know what I mean? Because it takes a lot, whether you're a barber or a barber school owner. You know what I mean? It's got to be something that you want to do and put the time in. And just don't look at the money. Look at everything else that comes with it. You know what I mean? Because what you're going through is a bad day. Just think about it, a bad day in your shop sometimes. Some of y'all get frustrated because you have to sit in your barbershop all day long. You know what I mean? And wonder where your customers are. You know what I mean? So it's, sometimes you just got to be able to dig deep and say, hey, man, I got to sit here and all day and just, wait it out. You know what I mean? But, you know how it goes, man. It's just life, man. Sometimes it's just life. And, life ain't always going to give you all the good things. Sometimes it's going to give you some bad things for you to look at and you say, you know what, I got to get better here, So, but I just tell everybody, man, do whatever you feel is right. You only live once, and you just got to definitely just go after your dream.
Ms. Wilson asks, how did you get your students?
That was kind of word of mouth. People walking by them on every street. It's called Spring Garden Street, Philadelphia. So it's like a prime location, man. So you get tons of cars, you get foot traffic every day. Like I said, I passed a lot of flyers out. A lot of people that knew me personally, came to me and just wanted to get in and, just started, from once I got the first one, people just started coming, you know what I mean? And I just started sharing a lot of stuff, man. Like I say, I share daily, man. You could see some of my students and I'd say, this guy just started a month ago. I don't even know how you cutting hair this quick. You know what I mean? Or I don't know how you shaving this quick. You know what I mean? But when you show people success, a lot of people want to be a part of that. So I look at things like that as well.
How much was your tuition when you started?
It was $10,000. We're up to $15,000 now per student.
Okay. Are you using any teaching tools?
Yes, we use Milady's. We use Milady's workbooks and textbooks.
Did you get students that couldn't pay the full tuition? How did you help them?
Yeah, I got them all the time. You know what I mean? We got a payment plan. I'm one of them guys that work with people, man. I try my best to, I look at people's lives sometimes and, hey, just bring what you got sometimes, man. You know what I mean? Everybody don't got it. And, I'm not too hard on people, man, so you just got to be understanding at times. And sometimes you don't have to be greedy. Sometimes you just got to make sure that, hey, like I tell people, man, pay me, man. That's all. Just make sure you take care of your business. I'm here to take care of you. But it comes sometimes it's a pain in the neck. I did have a couple people that that couldn't really finish. But I always keep the opportunity there and the door open. I come all the time. Always come. The door's always going to be open, man. You know what I mean? So, take it like a leave of absence, and when you're ready, come on back.
Well, how did you raise capital for your school?
I own a barbershop. You know what I mean? So, I worked all my life, man. Worked hard. So I saved and, went from there, man. I worked every day, man. I didn't buy equipment. I see that. Just brought it, online. Then I have some people that actually did some work for me in my school, and my shops that actually have a lot of stuff that I brought. But you look online, everything's there. Amazon, some hair product stores and all that. They got everything now. You can't miss it, and you don't necessarily have to buy top of the line stuff. Sometimes some of that cheap stuff get you through. Your first couple of years, then you work your way up. That's one thing I did get smart with. As I grown, because when I was early, in my early ages, I wanted everything to be high powered. All this and this. I wanted to look this. Sometimes it's not about that, man. You got to get the best out of your stuff. Then you work your way up, you know what I mean? So I end up downsizing a lot, as I grew up and realized, and I learned it from some people that had a lot of money. They don't always have to buy everything. You'd be surprised they go and buy some cheap stuff and make it work. You know what I mean? And guess what? As long as it look good, it feel good, hey, you feel good about it, man. You do what you got to do. You know what I mean? Don't always feel like you always got to buy the most expensive stuff for you to, feel like you more important than anything. You know what I mean? A lot of us do that stuff because we want to feel like we're more important than somebody. Like I tell people, I got some nice chairs from China. They work. You know what I mean? And people comfortable, and hey, I ain't getting that one complaint yet. They lay back, they get a shave, they get hot towels, as things get better, then I'll go up the ladder. But you just want to make sure, more than anything, man, you want to make sure that you are comfortable in your own skin and things that you do. You know what I mean? And making sure that like I said, if you show up for work, people gonna show up for you. You know what I mean? And like you ever see barbers sitting in hairstylist chairs? Hey, that's the way it goes. You know what I mean? So that, long story short, you can get these products anywhere online.
How often do you cut your clients at the school?
I don't cut them at my school. Not too many of them. They might come down here and there sometime, but I don't really do too much. I let my student do most of the work down there, because that's their, that's their training part. But if I might do a demonstration, I might get one or two might slide through for a haircut, and I might do a demonstration for them. But other than that, I try to let the students do most of the work.
Did you start off with hardback textbooks or digital?
Hardback and textbook, yeah. But we do have digital though. We do have online stuff now with my lady. We purchased the lady CDs and stuff like that. So we do have all that. All the lesson plans and the answers and texts and everything.
Do you have any other long-term goals?
Yes, more schools for sure. That's my number one goal. I think in my mind, I think I got about 5 or 6 more schools coming. And just try to just stick to the script, man. That's it. Stay focused, man. Open more schools and just keep on going.
How soon can you apply for the VA funds for your school, and what is the process like?
Actually, we are you talking about a school starting or how? Meaning what?
They probably
do they have a school?
I don't think so. It's usually in most states. It's probably the second year when you can get the VA.
2 years.
2 years, yeah.
2 years. Yeah. So every like that and financial aid 2 years. Yeah.